So I've contacted Hyundai to see what it would cost in parts from them to fix my crash damaged Hyundai I30N. And their total price in parts was £9,186.76. So I guess that makes it a little bit more obvious as to why the car's written off. But I think we can do it for a bit cheaper than that. Now we have got a problem down here. This wheel is just all over the place. The hub is not looking good. And well, the track rod end has completely snapped out the hub itself. So I think we need to get to work and start just here.
So we kick work straight off on this Hyundai with no messing about. I've already ordered some parts because I was able to see some bits that I needed without even jacking the car up. Now the main goal here is not to get the car perfect or get the running gear perfect. I just want to get it mobile again so I can get it moved off my driveway and maybe into the garage so I can work in the evenings or when it's raining or any time that suits me.
Nice. So first thing is this wheel okay? Is that a crack or a gouge? Gouge. I think it's alright.
Yeah, I do. I think it's worth a try.
Yeah, just to get it around. Is that a nice, is that a hole? That'll see another day, that will. So let's have a look what's going on here. So the hub has well and truly had it. That's sheared off there. That's why we have no steering at all. But everything else actually looks alright.
So that hub definitely does need changing, but before I do that I want to take the wing off, one so I can see what I'm doing better, and two so you guys can see what I'm doing better. So the first step to that is taking the arch liner out, and then I can take all the bolts out for the wing and get that off the car.
Bin! No, we don't bin anything, I've learnt that.
So to remove the wing off the Hyundai, I believe there was 3 bolts on the top in the kind of bonnet shut area. There was a couple around where the headlight go. There was some in the door shut, and then some behind the arch liner tucked up by the door shut as well. So there was plenty hiding around everywhere. Now I think the good thing about rebuilding something like this Hyundai compared to the Jag, which we're rebuilding on the channel at the moment as well, is that this car shares body panels with, you know, the more normal Hyundai i30 as well. So it's much easier to find parts for, which is a good thing. And even the bumpers actually come on the N-line models too, so that should make it a lot easier.
You've only gone and jinxed it. Right, it's bad news. It's not that bad. So we've got these kind of bits of, what do you call them, I suppose, tin bits? Whatever they are anyway, they're all crumpled. So this one here is kind of like the inner wing bracket, and we've got this one here as well, which obviously connects this leg to this one here. And also is holding up all of the fuse box, the air box, everything like that, and it's all just, well, it's had a good whack, and realistically, because we're not bodging it, it needs replacing. You can see the bend in it here, the little split. We've got, obviously this one here is supposed to be kind of way out here, so it's miles off really. But the good news is the chassis leg is how it's supposed to be, and that's the main bit, because that would be a ball ache to fix. These, they're inconvenient, but they're definitely doable. I actually thought this one was going to be a super easy, bolt on some new panels and get it going, but I'm not actually mad that this is like this, because well, I suppose it gives me the opportunity to learn how to do something new. Okay, maybe I'm a bit mad.
Apologies about the mic situation as well. I know it's not perfect, but we're just making do with what we've got for now while the car is on the driveway.
It's so crap in there.
You may notice that a lot of the time I use this impact gun on quite a lot of things which maybe you shouldn't be using an impact on, but I purposefully got a really rubbish impact to make sure I wasn't going to be snapping bolts left, right and centre, because I know what I'm like.
Can someone explain why these have got like 10 written on them and 8 when it's nothing to do with the size that they are? Is it the strength of the bolt, you reckon?
So now it's just to remove the caliper from the disc. We're going to be keeping this caliper in place to save bleeding it, and also we want the brake pads and disc to match the other side so they wear equally. So it's just the 2 caliper bolts off the back, that frees it off the car, and then we can relax the piston and then hang the caliper to make sure that we don't damage the brake line. Then the ball joint has to come off the bottom. There was 3 nuts, or well 2 nuts and 1 bolt actually, and then up top we've got to take the top mount bolts off. I believe again there was 3 14 mils, but these were actually hidden underneath the kind of windscreen scuttle, which was held in with the most useless clips I have ever come across. They just did not want to come out without breaking, but I think there's probably a better alternative that I can use when I'm putting this back together. And I've just realised I've completely forgot to mention we've got the best northern mechanic helping us out today, Bertie. He has offered to come down. It's actually a bank holiday on the day where we were filming, so we thought it'd be pretty chill to get outside, get on the driveway, and just have a laugh working on the cars together, so that was quite enjoyable. So now we're just working together to get this kind of suspension upright off the car, and then we can start looking at what we're going to swap over from the new one that we've got to the old one, or vice versa, and seeing what we can make work. And then once we've done that, we can then start putting on the new upright and hopefully get the car working again. So we start by putting in the new suspension first, the shock, spring and top mount as one unit. This is a new item and not the same as the one that we took off, I promise you. I know some of you aren't going to believe it. Once that's on the car, we can then start assembling the new hub section and sliding that up onto the shock. And there is a little locating pin on the back of here which I missed, and we ended up fighting with for 2 minutes or so just to get it in place properly. But once it was turned, then we can slot this up nicely and get it bolted up. Then on goes the drive shaft nut and also the 3 bolts for the ball joint at the bottom too, and we can get all that tightened up. Then the next thing to do is reassemble the brakes. So the new hub came with actually a disc and a caliper as well, but the disc had quite a big lip on it, and this one wasn't too bad, and also is going to match the driver's side, which doesn't need replacing. So we put the old disc back on the car with the old pads and the old caliper to make sure it's in fitting with what's on the rest of the car. Now we have 2 problems from here. The first one being this track rod end has a little insert from the hub which is completely stuck on it and we can't get it off. So we need to get some butane gas to be able to heat that up, and then we can hopefully get that back off there and we can get the old track rod end bolted into the hub just for now. And also we need to try and sort out this wheel and tyre situation for it to be mobile. We need to try and get this tyre or get a new tyre popped onto the rim just so we can move the car around. So I took that wheel and tyre down to my mate Josh's garage, and he was then able to try and put the old tyre back on. Unfortunately that didn't work, but we had a Michelin line around that was just the perfect fit, so that popped straight on there. You can sling it in the boot and get it back on the car.
And that is almost a job well done, and there is no greater satisfaction at the end of the day than having a nice cold one. What am I doing here? Jesus Christ. And that's exactly why I love Beer 52. Question for you, do you fancy some free beer? Well, that's exactly what the guys at Beer 52 are offering to you. Good crack. So say for example you're like me and you love trying new things, then Beer 52 is the thing for you. Simply go to beer52/Slix and cover the £5.95 cost of the postage to claim your free case now. I've been a member of Beer 52 for a while now and I absolutely love it. Each month they send their members varied and unique beers from different parts of the world. These are definitely not the sort of beers that you'd find in your local supermarket. With their ever-insightful Ferment magazine, you can learn about breweries, regions, and the wonderful world of beer while enjoying a phenomenal selection of fresh and tasty craft ales. Now, in the last 10 years, these guys have been to over 40 different countries, spanning over 5 different continents. I'm talking the USA, Australia, Germany, and even North Korea. They also showcase an incredible range of breweries local to home as well. Northern Monk, Cloudwater, Belfast Lads Boundary have all featured. Oh, and by the way, if dark beer's not your thing, you can choose the light-only case. Better than that, they even send out some delicious snacks for you to enjoy with your beer as well. Even if after all of that you are unsatisfied, you can cancel or pause at any time. So go to www.beer52/Slix to claim your free case now. That's beer52.com/Slix. Free beer. So cheers to the guys at Beer 52 for sponsoring this video. I'm going to enjoy some more of these and carry on work on the Hyundai tomorrow. So it's now the next day, and as you can see the weather's took a bit of a turn and the car is still stuck outside because I can't get that hub insert off the track rod end. And seeing as we're going to be replacing the track rod end anyway, I don't think there's too much point wasting hours and hours trying to solve that problem when I'm just going to go and buy a new one. So I guess really what I need to be doing now is start the hunt for parts really and see exactly where I'm going to be getting all of these bits from. So we're going to need to find a bonnet, a wing, a bumper, a slam panel, a radiator, an aircon rad, an intercooler, a wheel arch liner. We're going to need to find these tin pieces, which are probably going to come from Hyundai. We're going to need to find a track rod end, a wing, a rear bumper. There is a lot of parts to find for this car. So let's get inside out of this dreary British weather and go on the parts hunt. So last time we did this, you guys seemed to enjoy it when we were looking for parts for the Jag, so it kind of makes sense to do the same thing again. If you guys like seeing it and like seeing what goes on behind the scenes when you're rebuilding the car and how we find the parts, well, let's do it all over again. So this time I'm armed slightly differently because I actually have the parts list from Hyundai here. So I've got a complete breakdown of what every single part is going to cost to rebuild the car. It's slightly tricky deciphering what part actually is what, but I can search the part number and get a good idea, so that's definitely very helpful. So in an ideal world, I want to try and get everything from one place, especially if I've got to collect it, because I don't want to be running here, there and everywhere, wasting my time trying to get, you know, a bonnet hinge and then a parking sensor, because it's just going to take me forever. So listings like this where there's a full car break-in, if they have everything I need, I am willing to pay a little bit more just to get it from one place. But let's give these guys a ring and see what they say. Now, I have noticed this listing here. This is for a Hyundai I30N line model, so it looks exactly like an N, but is basically a slower car, so it's a sheep in wolf's clothing, if that makes sense. So this car aesthetically looks exactly the same as mine. So the bonnet will fit, the bumper will fit, the headlight will fit, the wing will fit, the rear bumper will fit, so that's absolutely fine. But the rad pack is different. Otherwise, to be honest with you, I probably would have just gone and bought this, because this is a complete front end, including the rad packs and everything like that, for £3,600, and that should pretty much assemble the full front end of the car and get that sorted if I didn't have the slight differences with the radiators and the intercoolers and stuff like that. So I'm going to leave that one, I think, because I don't need, well, I don't need a spare headlight, I don't need a spare wing, I don't need parts that don't fit lying around my house. Now, I have messaged one breaker here, hopefully this can focus. I gave him the full list of everything that I was after, and he said everything on there has been sold, but he does have a rear bumper, but the upper section is damaged, so that's completely useless. Now, I'm not sure what I think to this. This is a 2018 to 2021 Hyundai I30N front panel complete, slam panel rad pack complete. Now, this is up for £1,600, but it includes, well, everything to make the car and the engine run absolutely perfectly again. So we've got a new slam panel on the back, which also mounts kind of the radiator, the aircon rad and the intercooler, and it includes those as well. We've also got the crash bar on the front, we've got the horns, so in theory I should be able to unbolt the bit on mine that's broken, basically from the back of the crash bar, pull it off as one unit, bolt this one on, and it's all pre-assembled, so it's just plugging in the hoses, plugging in the plugs, bolting it up, and it's good to go. But it is £1,600, which I don't know if that's a bit expensive, because going back to my list here, I've kind of roughly totted everything up that I can see for the, you know, for that, to basically build that section up without buying that. And I think brand new it comes to that as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to throw the seller an offer, a reasonable one, and just say, look, this is what they cost brand new to buy everything. I'm happy to pay this for yours, which I think's fair. Well, you know what? I'm not having as good a time with this as I thought I was going to. Honestly, I thought this was going to be like shopping for cereal in the supermarket or something, just picking parts off a shelf. It's the opposite. There's so many cars breaking, but the people who are breaking, well, parts have all sold, Do you know what? If they've all sold, take them off. It's just frustrating. It's so frustrating, especially when you buy the car after looking at this sort of stuff, saying, oh yeah, there's plenty of parts available, and then you go to buy them and it's, well, the people who are selling them haven't even got the parts they're listing. It's the same problem with the Jag. It's even down to the headlight. So I've got the part number off the headlight, which is broken on the car, and that is G492122030. Which, great, there is headlights for sale, but again, another massive but. There's two different sorts of headlights on the i30. There's the ones with the silver inserts, which are basically these ones here, where around the outside there's like a silver eyeliner almost look, and then there's the ones where it's black, which is what comes on the i30N. And yet again, there is no matching part numbers, which are all black for sale. So my look just amazes me sometimes, honestly. I'm not having fun here. But one thing I did find on the breakdown of parts on here is the daytime running light. So it is just a daytime running light, and the price of it is £1,045.81 each. So that's £2,000 in daytime running lights if I was to buy them brand new from Hyundai. That cannot be right, surely. £1,000 for a daytime running light. It's this big. Especially when the headlight, which is just here, is £675. So it's cheaper to buy a whole headlight than is a daytime running light. So I think the best bet now is probably ringing around some breakers and speaking to the main dealer about what they can get and how quickly they can get it, and going from there, really. Let's make some phone calls. Okay, new day, and it's not a bank holiday anymore, so companies are back open. So I'm going to ring Hyundai now and see exactly what they're going to charge me for those structural parts which I need to replace, those little tin sections, and also maybe try and order a couple of bits as well.
An I30N, indeed it is. What do you need for it?
So the first bits I need are on the passenger side, the inner wing, basically where the wing mounts to. There's like a mounting bracket that comes off the chassis leg.
And both for the near side.
Yeah, near side. That's right.
Right, the bit that runs across the top, top on the left of the photo.
Yep.
They're listing that as a member front wheel apron. For the left-hand side, it's 163.47. No, it's not. It's 163.74.
Okay.
And the whole inner wing is not much difference actually. 180.25.
Fantastic. Are they in stock? Are they? Or?
Right. The main inner wing will in fact go to back order if we stick the orders through.
Right.
Because there's none actually in the UK and there's none in transit to the UK, so there's an outside chance that might be a 10-week wait from Korea. Unlikely, but
possible. No worries. That would slow things down. Well, that's not good news. So they only sell the section I need as the full inner wing, which means replacing the strut tower all the way back to way behind where you can see essentially, which is a much bigger job than just taking out those sections which we're talking about and just welding in new pieces. So that makes it a much bigger job. And not even just that, like you just said, they're on back order for 10 weeks potentially. So that could really, really slow the build down, which is not what we want to do, especially when there is this one for sale, but this is for the driver's side, so it's obviously going to be no good. But we've got the bracket here. Don't know if you guys can see that. We've got the bracket just here, which we need, which is just spot welded on, and then this inner piece here, which again is just spot welded and seam sealed on. So it is a replaceable part on the car, but I can't buy it, which is again frustrating. There seems to be a bit of a pattern with this car already. I think some people in this situation might be put off straight away by this, but I refuse to be defeated and I will fix this problem. But I really wanted to give you guys a definitive answer on how I was going to do that on the i30N in this video, but unfortunately I can't because I don't know myself. But for now, make sure you subscribe, smash a like on this video, and I'll catch you next time.